Are you ready? No, you are not. 2026 is going to be such a year of massive change. Now, I know 2025 was for the birds. It was so hard for so many people, but I feel very optimistic about 2026. And there are so many shifts and so many changes. Get your pen, get your paper. And I want you to learn about these astrological transits that are just going to be incredible. This is the video where I'm going to teach you and tell you and share with you about the cosmic turning points of 2026. And there are so many of them. You're not even ready. You're not even ready, but we're going to get you ready. 2026 is not just another year. No, it is a cosmic reclaiming of your energy. And I think of the world. This is the year where power returns to the people who are awake to it, if you will. So if 2025 cracked you open, 2026 shows you what to do with the wisdom you've earned. So this is not just rando astrology for dummies. No. You are here watching this video because you're smarter than the average astrology bear. Yes, you are. You are smart and you want to understand the wisdom that astrology can lend you. So I'm going to talk to you about destiny level transits today, and it is massive. And I hope to God we can eat this cheesy cheeseburger together because it is going to be so juicy and it's filled with surprises. So this year is going to be a year of do-overs, course corrections, and second chances, but truly only if you are conscious enough to use the energy. And while we might see repeated themes try their hand at playing us, we're different now. We're different. We are not who we were in 2025. We are shrewd. We are wise. We have learned so many hard lessons, and we are not the same person. Nope. You've learned and you've lived through it. And this is the year the universe says, apply that which you know. So what is the major core theme of 2026? I think it is a reclaiming your agency, reclaiming your freedom. And we're moving out of survival mode and we're moving into intentional creation. In part 2, hopefully I'm going to have enough time to talk about how this affects each sign. I have so many great things to tell you. I think the key theme is power reclaimed after massive confusion. Was this year not massively confusing? Yeah. And that is, I think, Neptune in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces, and the North Node in Pisces. Confusing, like swimming underwater with no goggles, no mask. Can't see a damn thing, right? And then I also think that Virgo South Node, we're still in it until this summer, has a level of criticism that has felt quite inhumane. Like inhumane criticism, like so dark, so South Node, unhealthy, dark energy that there has been an intolerance. Yeah, there's been a real intolerance out there. The next critical theme I think we're going to bump into is conscious leadership over unconscious reaction. So we're not just reacting to every single thing. We are consciously asking ourselves, what is a good leader? Am I being a good leader? How do I lead others well? Where you are really in high form around where you lead and who you lead and what you lead. I also want to say that I think destiny is no longer a thing happening to us, but it is a thing that is happening through us. We are a conduit. The planets are not asking you any longer in 2026 to be perfect. No, the yardstick is no longer about perfection. They're asking you to be awakened, to use the cosmic energy, to use your energy for your highest best self, to innovate and create new ways of thinking, new ways of being. We're going to talk about it. We're going to have a nodal axis shift. We're going to have 4 eclipses. We are going to have the outer planets changing signs here. And we're going to have all kinds of retrogrades. We're going to talk all about it, all about it, all about it. So there are 4 eclipses in 2026. Eclipses are reset points. They are loud, they are not gentle, and they are not subtle. They come in with a boom. This is when the universe just intervenes. It's like a cosmic intervention in your life. And they pop in out of the blue. You think you're expecting this over here to the left, and boom, the thing happens over here to the right. So we're going to talk about it. Write these dates down. These are very, very critical and very, very important. And I want you to do something fabulous on these dates. I want you to be in charge of the change, even if you get shocked and surprised. But I want you to be ready for change. February 17th, 2026, there is going to be a collective awakening. There is going to be probably AI, aliens, technology, but the future will meet us on this day. So what is the future, right? Be careful. Be careful with AI. Be careful with your technology. Be careful with your phones. And if the alien knocks on your door, be gentle answering it. So there is the solar eclipse in Aquarius, and it's going to be a reset. So how we show up in the world, how we show up online, and how the online community advances is all going to be a major theme. February 17th is that solar eclipse in Aquarius. This eclipse is going to be extraordinarily powerful because we've got Mars in the mix too. It's a big dynamic day. So the next eclipse is a lunar eclipse, and it's on March 3rd, 2026. So the moon is in Virgo, that's the lunar eclipse, and the sun is in Pisces. And this is going to bring up healing. This is going to be very healing. You probably are going to have to focus on your emotional and physical health. This is going to ask you, what are you in service to? This is going to ask you, what is the truth? Can you even see the truth? Have you noticed we can't even see what's true now? We have to go research every little bit of news that we get. We have to go double and triple and quadruple check everything. That's that Neptune in Pisces. That's that North Node in Pisces. We can't see clearly. I also want to tell you on March 3rd, that which is no longer sustainable in your daily life needs to be released. And then we are switching, if you didn't notice, that first eclipse, February 17th, we're having the start of the eclipses in the new axis of Aquarius and Leo, and we're finishing up the eclipses in Pisces and Virgo. So the next one is August 12th. This is a solar eclipse in Leo, so a new moon in Leo with the nodes there. And this is going to affect your whole identity, your confidence, your leadership, your visibility, your creative approach to life. And I want to tell you something really important. Around August 12th, there is going to be a rebirth of the self. There could even be a rebirth of our collective self, humanity. I'm hoping so. But there is also going to be a new chapter for courage in your life. You may need more courage. You may feel more courageous. But courage is a big part of the theme on August 12th. Be courageous, my friend. August 28th is a partial lunar eclipse, and it's in Pisces. So we have the sun in Virgo, and we have the full moon in Pisces, and there's going to be endings. There's going to be a spiritual surrender. And you are going to be required to move forward in your life with deep empathy, compassion, and sympathy for self and others. Be gentle with yourself. There is going to be a letting go of illusions, and there's going to be a desire to no longer fix everybody. And you might even feel emotional exhaustion. So this is a time for rest and recuperation. And it is in August. So let's go to the Mediterranean beach, right? Let's go to the French Riviera and sit under the umbrellas at the Blue Beach. Do you want to? And I want to tell you that eclipses don't ask you permission. They don't give warning. They move where your soul already wants to go, but you might not yet be aware of it. I want to tell you the next important things. Dun, dun, dun. Get ready. The nodes of destiny shift signs. Yes. The nodes are never about like what's on the surface and your personality. No, they are your soul's homework. I believe the nodes show us where our soul holds wisdom, a wisdom that we have already mastered in a past lifetime or experienced or found, and a wisdom that we are here to find. Just let that sink in for a minute. So collectively, we're here now in search of a new kind of wisdom. So the North Node is going to move into Aquarius and the South Node is moving into Leo. So we've already mastered the Leo, and you have to look at the South Node as a little bit dysfunctional, a little bit unhealthy. So we're still going to have a lot of arrogance and a lot of supreme rulership. Like there's only two supreme rulers in the zodiac, Sagittarius and Leo. So now we're in the arrogance and still leftover narcissism, right? And leftover hierarchical order where I am so much better than you. Now, I don't think that, but that is how much of the world is speaking to the other half of the world. And quite frankly, I think it is repugnant, repulsive, and disgusting. I don't even believe in hierarchical order. It's so painful. So we're still going to have the shadow side of that, of Leo. You know, in Virgo, it was criticism. Now it's going to be arrogance. Okay, we're going to have to deal with that. It's going to be very repulsive, I'm sure. If you know any unhealthy, super unhealthy, just really, really, really bottom of the barrel Leos, you know what I'm talking about. I love a healthy Leo, but because this is the South Node, we're working with the shadow side of Leo. However, in the North Node, we are working with that high-minded Aquarius. And by the way, Aquarius is so exciting because it is the higher octave. It represents Uranus, represents the higher octave of Mercury. So it's very high-minded and it's very humanitarian. It's like if we were all to clean up trash, everybody who's watching this right now, if we were all to clean up trash on the freeway, right, for a little in one city, all of us, we probably would collect 3 items and it would be clean. Where if I did it all by myself, it would take me months, if not years. But if we all collectively put our effort together, wow, what we could accomplish. So that's the power of Aquarius. Really feel that, let that seep into you. And so starting on July 26, 2026, that's when the nodal axis shifts. Now, I have to tell you something super important, super important. Please, please, please listen to this. Meredith, I study the mean nodes. There's 2 ways of measuring the nodes, okay? And July 26, 2026, you're going to hear that date a lot because a lot of astrologers, especially equal house astrologers, whole sign astrologers, traditional astrologers, they work with the true nodes. I don't work with the true nodes. I believe the mean node is a little bit more accurate, and it's just a different way of measuring. So the true node shows you exactly where the node is at that time. The mean node takes an average because the nodes scooch and scoot. And so it captures the average on the wobble. And I think it is more realistic, but they show up a little bit later than the true node. So July 26, 2026 is the true node. And I think you're going to see on YouTube a ton of people talking about that day. And I do think you will start to feel the transition into the next nodal axis on July 26th. But for me personally, I study the mean nodes. I take that average. Just think of mean, really mean Meredith. Like, what does Meredith use? Mean Meredith uses the mean nodes. Yeah. And so that's going to happen actually August 19th, 2026. So I do think you'll feel it on July 26th, but it's about 3 weeks different. So August 19th, 2026 is when the mean node changes. It's something else. And I know you already know this because you're studying with me and you're studying deeper astrology. The nodes are in perpetual retrograde. They go backwards. So that is going to be the 29th degree of Aquarius. So please leave me a comment if you have a 29 degree Aquarius or a 29 degree Leo planet. You guys also know, hopefully you've been watching my video, The Power of the Degrees. You know that the 29th degree is a perilous degree. It is a challenging degree. It is a difficult degree. And when the nodes switch signs and they move into that next sign, again, August 19th for me, for us, for those who study the mean nodes with me, that's a perilous day because the nodes are uncomfortable. It's like changing shoes. It's uncomfortable. It's like putting on ski boots, if anybody here skis. It's highly, highly uncomfortable. It's like wearing a corset under your dress. Like, whoa, what just happened to me? It's shocking. And so we're going to see between July 26th and August 19th, this is when the shift is happening. You are going to see something collectively in the world that is going to spin us on our axis in some way, shape, or form. There is going to be a major change in our world and in our individual worlds and in our collective world. Why the collective? Because we're working with Aquarius. Okay. So mark this down. It's very important. And it's going to sit at that 29th degree. And that 29th degree ushers in challenges. Okay. Now the themes that we are supposed to learn are not necessarily things that we will learn with elegance and dignity and will be easy for us. No, because the nodal lessons are never simple. And remember, you have to think of this as the collective, as humanity. And then I want you to think of this individually for yourself as well. So what are we going to be learning? By the way, the nodes are going to stay in Leo and Aquarius for 18 months. And aren't you so ready? Can you guys remember when I was talking about them moving into Pisces and Virgo? I was like, yay. And for me, it's been personally, it's been a lot of really good lessons, really, really good lessons. But I know for many, it's been extraordinarily difficult. And I'm excited for the change. I think we need changes. But for the next 18 months, humanity and your own individuated lessons are going to be about ego, surrendering the ego, not leading with ego, learning how to shine without being dominating, without being brutally dominating, and how to merge with your community, how to be a nice neighbor to other people, how to accept uniqueness and differences in other people, and how to innovate your own life. This is the end of leadership based on needing attention grabbing influencers, if you will, or just people who are hired for what they look like, and the beginning of leadership based on genuine, authentic, real contribution. So the themes are going to be technology. What's your relationship to technology? Are you philanthropic? Are there causes that you like to put your energy into? What do you pour your energy or your soul into outside of your own agenda, Leo agenda, right? What do you do for others? Are you down deep inside motivated through selfishness or through egalitarianism? That's Aquarius. How are you going to innovate your space, your life, your heart, your love life, the concept of love? Also, humanitarian work will become sort of spiritually mandated, not just optional. Like we're all going to have to come together in some way, shape, or form. It's going to be very, very interesting. Let's talk about Mercury's in retrograde. Write these down. I think Mercury in retrograde can be the healing pause in your life. We need them. We need to slow down. I used to really dread Mercury in retrograde. Now I welcome the energy kind of going inward and kind of going backwards. I do. I really like the excuse, if you will, to check out and slow down a little bit, even though I don't check out and I don't slow down very well. I like the excuse that it's there, like, okay, I need to rest. I need to reset. I need to rewrite. I need to redo. I need to reevaluate. I need to pause. And I have quite a few Mercury in retrograde videos on my channel. They're a little bit older, but they're still super relevant, evergreen content. And you can just search on my channel, my Mercury playlist, and you'll find it. So in 2026, Mercury is not going to scream. It's not going to be loud. It's going to whisper. All three Mercury in retrogrades are in water signs, turning our attention inward, teaching us how to communicate differently, not just with our voices. Water signs communicate with their other senses. They communicate telepathically. They communicate intuitively. They communicate emotionally, and they communicate with their body language. The first one, get ready, mark your calendar, February 26th through March 20th. This is going to be in Pisces, so you're going to reflect. You're going to, I hope, get a journal and start really channeling the divine messages. Use your intuition. You're going to get or receive emotional clarity at this time. The next one is June 29th through July 23rd. And so this Mercury in retrograde is in Cancer. You're going to really reevaluate your family patterns. Like, what role do you play inside your family? And do you want to continue playing that role? Or do you want to ask for a new role? Do you want to switch up your role? You're going to also tap into the emotional memory of this lifetime. Take note. And of your previous lifetimes. This is a time for you to heal your inner child, or let your inner child be free, be different, and get to be gleeful and play again. Bring your inner child out to play. I want to do that. I want to frost cookies and make arts and crafts, and I want to paint again, and I want to play. I told my husband, I promised him in 2026, I'm going to sit down on the couch and I'm going to watch TV. I have no idea what I'm going to watch. You guys, give me some good shows to watch. Please give me some great shows to watch so I don't regret sitting down. It has to be really riveting and good. And I love true stories. I love biographies. I love learning about dynasties and people. I'm a true Sagittarius that way. So give me your suggestion of some great television shows or Netflix or, yeah. October 24th through November 13th, the Mercury in retrograde is going to be in Scorpio. So you're going to do very serious shadow work. You might even do some shamanic work, but you're going to go into the deeper truths in your life, and you're going to have an opportunity to reevaluate intimacy, being more intimate. And you're going to also see very clearly the power dynamics that are running your show underground, right? And so I want you to know that your soul really wants to check in with you during Mercury in retrogrades. So let's talk about this. We are going to have a Venus in retrograde. And Venus in retrograde is about self-worth. It's a reset, I should say. It's a reset for your self-worth. It's a reset for what you value, what you desire. I have an entire Venus playlist. Please watch it. I can't recommend it enough. But inside that playlist, you will find my Venus in retrograde video. And I also have a lot of shorts on Venus in retrograde. And what does it mean? So on October 3rd, it starts at 8 degrees Scorpio, and it goes through November 13th. So do you have any planets at that 8 degrees Scorpio? And it goes all the way back to 22 degrees Libra. Now, let me tell you something. This is so important. And I think I have a video on planet if you're born on a station. I think I have a whole video. I'm going to try to get my editor to link it up here if we can do it. It might be a members only video, but it's a fantastic video. And if you are a member, I want to say thank you for being a superstar, super supporter, or a super supporter. I am so grateful. You have no idea. I want to invite everybody to please join this channel. It's only $2.99. It puts 10 cents in my pocket, and it allows me to pay for this amazing editor. We have a new editor, and I absolutely love his work. And it's a way that I can pay him for his work. And I think it helps us generate higher quality videos. So I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who is a member, and go check out all of my members only videos. I think this video, if you were born on a station or a retrograde, might be a members only video. I can't recall, but it's a really good video. So I want to ask you if you have any planets that are sitting at that 8 degrees Scorpio or that 22 degree Libra, because those are the stations for this Venus in retrograde. That's the beginning and the end stops. That's when the planet Venus turns around and it creates a big fat boom. If so, this Venus in retrograde is going to be massively important for you. I happen to have my moon at 22 Libra. So it is exactly on that Venus. Am I nervous? Yes, I am. Venus retrograding on my moon, that sounds very painful. I'm like, no, thank you. And it's turning back around and it's going direct, but it's still on the station. And when it's on the station, it is so impactful. It's kind of like a miniature eclipse feeling. It is a sonic boom. It is very loud. So I am preparing for November 13th. And I'd have to look at my whole chart to see exactly what it means. But what I'm going to do is each one of these important transits for 2026, I'll be doing individual videos on them and I'll be talking about, all the signs that are affected by this Venus in retrograde and the Mercury in retrograde. But this is going to be a time where your self-image might change. Venus retrograde is not always about losing love, but it is always about knowing and remembering and learning what your worth is. I want to tell you right now, I do not want you to go on a first date between October 3rd and November 13th. No, 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 no. You do not want to have your first date chart. Did you guys watch that video that I did? Your first date? I think that could be a members only video too. But I talk about getting a great first date chart and how to time it and never meet for the very first time when Venus is retrograde, when it is a potential love partner. Don't do it. If it's a hookup, no big deal. But Venus in retrograde, there's something about that person that probably does not hold the value or has the values that you need to make a go of it. I remember I met somebody who on a Venus in retrograde night. It was a very, very long time ago. It was like 20 years ago. We had the best night ever. We had so much fun meeting. We just met randomly. We didn't meet online or anything. It wasn't planned. It was just random meeting. And we just hung out all night. And I was like, wow, this was just magical and so incredible. Only to find out the next day that he was married. Oopsie, forgot to tell me. Forgot to tell me amongst all the fun we were having. Wow, probably wouldn't have given him the time of day had I known, right? So I'm just saying that's Venus in retrograde. That is classic Venus in retrograde. And by the way, Venus was in retrograde in I believe, might have been Pisces. So it was a lot of trickery. What a drag. What a bummer. I also want to tell you that when Venus is in retrograde in Scorpio and Libra, you're going to have a new relationship with beauty. You're going to have a new relationship with your self-image. Your desires are going to shift. Like what you once thought was unattractive, you might find attractive or vice versa. I'm also going to tell you that this is an opportunity to financially realign yourself. This is the time for truths about relationships will be revealed. Like, oh, you're married. Had no idea that you were married. Wow, didn't wear a wedding ring. Funny that. Funny that. Right? I'm going to tell you the big secret, the big kahuna, okay? In 2026, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you believe you deserve. Yeah. So believe in you. Believe in what you deserve. Okay. The new era begins, and I know you've already heard all about it, but the major planetary ingresses. So on January 26, 2026, Neptune enters Aries. Welcome, Neptune. And it is going to stay there, I believe, until 2039. So we have a very long time with this new Neptunian era, and it is a BFD. So think about this. Neptune entered Pisces in 2011, and it's leaving in 2026. So tell me, what happened in 2011 for you? What happened? Do you remember that time? That was right after the housing market crash in the United States. What happened? That chapter is ending now. That 2011 chapter is finally coming to a close, and we're ushering in this new energy. And I think it's going to be less confusing and clearer. It's going to stay in Aries. Neptune will stay in Aries until May 21st, 2038. So it's a pretty big deal. And I want you to plant the seeds around finding the spiritual courage to live the life you deserve. Get passionate, big, courageous, and bold. Be a visionary leader in your own life. Take responsibility for the parts of your life that are not working. If you married the wrong guy, take responsibility for marrying the wrong guy and get out. Get out. You have no time to waste. With Aries, the solutions are very black and white and they are very, very fast. Boom, 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 boom. If you don't like the way you look, fix it, change it. If you don't like the way you feel, fix it, change it, right? It's like this is a spiritual rebirth fueled with massive, mega nuclear passion. And it's a once in a lifetime call to embody your dream. I am so excited for you. I have 2 whole videos on Neptune moving into Aries because we had a little tease and now it's going to be a permanent change until that May 21st, 2038. On February 13th, day before Valentine's Day, Saturn, dun, 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 the grand poobah, the great daddy planet, right? Saturn enters Aries. And so now we're being asked to take all that passion, all that fuel, all that courage, and become responsible, become mature. This is like leadership training. This is like boot camp. This is like being on the front lines as a Marine. And I just told my husband's children, they're all grown adults now, if I could be a Marine, I would be a Marine. If I could be, I would be. I mean, I have that hoo-ah in me, and like really put your thumbprint into the work that you do. And this is where inspiration and discipline meet each other. You become responsible for your own choices. Take responsibility, because if you take responsibility, you get out of victim mode. Yes. So you are no longer a victim of your circumstance. Do something about it. Do something about it. If you don't like it, change it. Okay, I have this great thing. I know a lot of you have already heard this. Oh my God, I'm in my Aries now. I'm in my Aries. I don't have one single planet in Aries, by the way. Nothing, nada. I don't even have a planet in the first house. I have very little Aries energy in my chart. But hold on. I had this brilliant therapist, absolutely brilliant. I love her so much. She gave me so many great things in my life. I was 29 years old going through my Saturn return. I was just newly married at that time to my first husband, and I was just grief-stricken with rheumatoid arthritis. And I was living in Georgia in the South, and I was really struggling with the culture shock around living in Georgia too at that time. And I ran the Augusta Ballet. You guys probably know my story. But anyways, I met Deborah, and Deborah was a therapist that I really needed help understanding, like, how am I supposed to live feeling like I can't live? I couldn't move. I couldn't physically move for 5 years. And I didn't know how to cope with that. I didn't know how to be a new bride. I just received the news that I would never be able to have a baby because of the medication I was on. And I was newly married, but displaced in my body, displaced in my country. I didn't understand Southern culture. It was a big thing. And I was married, but not able to have kids, not able to make a family, right? So displaced. This therapist really gave me a reason to live. She really reflected the spirit of who I knew myself to be back to me and helped me put myself back together again. Humpty Dumpty. You're literally looking at Humpty Dumpty here. Yeah, I was just shattered. Anyways, one of the things she said to me, this was so brilliant, and this reminds me of Saturn in Aries. She said to me, Meredith, do you know what changes behavior? Because I wanted so many changes. Oh, by the way, I have to tell you something that's a little bit of a secret, but no one's going to really know. I should say the stories inside the story are a secret, but I can tell you this part. So my husband worked in special intelligence with the United States Army, and he was a Russian interrogator and a Russian linguist, if you will. And so he had to go on mission for 6 months at a time. And in doing so, he was a courier and incognito. So he he learned Russian. And he's not Russian at all. He's a guy from Phoenix, Arizona, but he's brilliant, super smart. Anyways, he had his choice to either learn Arabic or Russian, and he picked Russian because he's really smart. He tested super high in the language exam. Anyways, long story short, one of the things he had to do was become Russian. And so both he and I, we dated for a long, long time. We dated for 4 years before we got married, and then we were married for 3 years. So we both made kind of a pact with one another at the time that neither one of us smoked. We didn't smoke. We had never smoked, nor would we ever smoke cigarettes. I was absolutely just could not deal with smoking. And I didn't want to be married to somebody who would be a smoker. And he felt the same way. So it was just our little pact. If you smoke, knock yourself out, have fun. But it was just a little agreement that we made, right? It was like a little pledge, a pledge of allegiance, a pledge of honor, right? So when he had to become Russian, he picked up smoking. Well, he turned in overnight, basically into a chain smoker. Oh my God. Kill me. Shoot me. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's part of the persona. I'm like, what, are you drinking vodka every night? Are you doing Schlivovitz? What are you doing? Are you drinking the plum brandy, the plum vodka? What's next? Anyways, he turned into a chain smoker. So that was a buzzkill. Anyways, what I wanted to say was I went to this therapist, and one of the things I asked her was, how do I get my husband to quit smoking? She's like, you can't get your husband to quit smoking. I said, oh, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Oh, God, I can do anything. I can get him to quit smoking. No, you can't get him to quit smoking, Meredith. He's got to want to quit smoking. I'm like, oh, believe me. Okay, I need to know, how do I make him want to quit smoking? Naive. He never quit smoking. No, never quit smoking. Oh, my God. Anyways, I have so many comedic stories that I can't share on the internet. But what I wanted to say is, one of the things she taught me was this incredible soul lesson. And this incredible soul lesson was, do you know what changes behavior, Meredith? And I said, yes, absolutely. I know what changes behavior. I was 29 years old, 39, 49, 59. This is 30 years ago. Absolutely. I know what changes behavior. Awareness changes behavior. When you are aware of the consequences, of course you want to change your behavior. And she looked at me and she goes, absolutely not. I'm like, what? She said, do you think the person who is driving drunk knows that they shouldn't? Yeah, most likely. Well, then why are they driving drunk? Awareness doesn't mean jack diddly. There's only one thing that changes behavior, and this is going back to Saturn in Aries. I really think this is a great example of Saturn in Aries. And I said, well, okay, if it's not awareness, if it's not knowing right from wrong, if it's not, your belief system, what is it? And she said, it's the only one thing. Changing your behavior changes your behavior. What? Wait. What? What? Choosing to not smoke the cigarette is changing your behavior. You can have all the awareness in the world. Oh, it's going to create cancer. Oh, it's going to give you, you're going to smell bad. Oh, you're going to, I don't know, throat cancer, whatever. You can rationalize it all you want, but choosing to put the cigarette out is changing your behavior. So literally just not doing the thing, just not taking the drink, just not, right, eating the carbs, whatever, eating the sweets, whatever that thing is that you want to change, just change it. Because this is how hard it is. You ready? Just change it. What do you mean just change it? Just change it. Choose a different thing. Choose something else. Just choose it. Choose a new thing. Okay. Well, how do I make him change? You can't. It's an inside job. So what do you want to change? Become disciplined around what you want to change. Take responsibility for the things you don't like in your life. Don't blame it on what your mommy did or what your daddy did or your sister was mean to you or you picked the wrong partner or your partner cheated on you or they were mean to you or they made fun of you. No, just take responsibility. I chose you as a friend. You're not a great friend. I'm going to change it. We're not going to be friends anymore. So this is when you are going to step into your maturity, which takes wisdom and forgiveness, by the way. You cannot be mature without wisdom and forgiveness. I don't care if you are 28 years old. I don't care if you're 15 years old. Start applying this thought process to your behavior. And when you step into your inspired discipline, be inspired to become disciplined. You know what will happen? You will get the freedom that you want. You will get life on your terms. This is an epic year for visionaries. Are you a visionary? Yes or no? Yes or no? Are you a visionary? Dreams gain structure and purposes become real. So this is going to be an absolutely incredible time. This starts February 20th, 2026. So this is actually February 13th, Saturn enters Aries and it stays there until April 12th, 2028. Now, if you have Saturn in Aries, guess what's happening to you? Dun, dun, dun. You're having your Saturn return and you're either having your first or second Saturn return. And so that's a really big deal. I have a whole video on Saturn return. I think it's titled Your Most Important Saturn Transit of Your Lifetime. This is a time when your whole entire life is changing. I just went through my second Saturn return, and I will tell you it is a whole hell of a lot better than the first one. There is an uneasiness to it, but the second Saturn return, when you're 58, 59 years old, it's almost like your purpose becomes solidified. Your purpose becomes very, very real. I want to tell you that on February 20th, 2026, we have Saturn conjunct Neptune, and that's when the dreams can concretize, when you can make your dreams into reality. But you need to know what your dreams are so you can be in the discipline, right? Okay, April 25th, 2026, Uranus is re-entering Gemini. And it's re-entering Gemini, and it is going to bring innovation and a revolution around how we communicate, how we talk to one another, how we learn, how we process. This is inviting in a paradigm shift, not just a reality shift, a paradigm shift. And this paradigm shift is where you reimagine your whole life, right? I am having a paradigm shift around tranquility. And paradigm shifts don't just happen like that. Paradigm shifts evolve over a little bit of time. They're enigmatic. And so when you're in something that is an enigma, it isn't always super clear what is happening. And it's going to stay here until 2032. So we've got 6 years with it here in Gemini. And then in August of 2032, it shifts. It shifts into Cancer. What I want to say is the way that we teach our children, the way that we talk, the way in which we speak, the way in which we learn or even see or perceive is all going to change super, super fast. It's going to change at lightning speed, just lightning speed. I think that like a pen and paper is going to be an art form. And now you'll see the world is going to be relying on AI and computers and human robots and all that jazz. The changes are going to happen at lightning speed. I think when Uranus moves into Cancer, we're going to really value connection, love, and slowing down. But for right now, we're speeding up. So let's talk about Jupiter. You know, Jupiter's in Cancer right now. And on June 30th, 2026, Jupiter is going to enter Leo. I am so excited. And if you have Jupiter in Leo, you're having a Jupiter return. And this is a time when you're going to see massive creativity in your own life and out there in the world, like massively creative people. You're going to be able to experience royal confidence, incredible joy, the art of life, the game of life, the expansion of your life. There is going to be a regality. You're going to chase the good life. And I feel like there is a lot of abundance and razzle dazzle and sparkle. Get out your tap shoes and learn how to do a new hobby, learn how to do a new craft, attempt a new talent. It's like the heart will reopen once Leo is activated through the happiness planet, Jupiter. I want to tell you that this really supports the inner child work. Your inner child will have life breathed back into them. So 2026 is not about going back to who you were. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. And you're just being asked to participate in your own life consciously. We're going to talk all about these retrogrades. We're going to talk about the dynamic shifts of the nodal axis into Leo and Aquarius. We're going to talk about Saturn and Neptune and Uranus and all of the changes that will be coming about with those changes. And this is the year that you're going to step into your own authority. Aries does not ask permission, right? And and honestly, neither does Gemini and neither does Leo. So this is a time when the soul theme is just really dynamic, and there are so many cosmic turning points. I want to go into all of the signs and what you can expect for all 12 signs, but I have to do that in another video because this video already took so much time. This year is going to have magic in it. It's going to be innovative. It's going to be creative. I want you to start thinking about how do you want to create this next year for you? And I want you to think about getting in alignment and in harmony with all these different energies, with Aries, with Leo, with Aquarius energy. I want you to think about the nodal axis shift and what you're going to do with this nodal axis shift, and write down the eclipse dates. You can also, for a little extra homework, you can go back and look and see when we last had those eclipses in Leo and Aquarius. And this is an echo chamber of that time. So you're finishing up the theme or the work that occurred during those last eclipses in Aquarius and Leo. And you'll see a repeated, like I said, echo chamber. You'll see a repeated theme from those times. So these are the important dates. These are the important shifts. I want you to just put them in your crock pot and with all the other vegetables and let them stew, let them marinate, and really think about these shifts and these changes and welcome them into your heart. And I also kind of like to be highly aware of what these planets do, what these signs represent, so I can be out in front of the changes, helping co-create with the cosmic energy. And I also want to say, if you want to learn deep astrology, real astrology, come learn with me. I have so many amazing students that have signed up for the class, for the 2026 class. Check it out at soulnavigation.com, or you can just go straight to my shop. We have payment plans, and hop on board, learn real astrology with me. You'll get certified after you take 10 courses. We're offering 6 in the year 2026. And I just am starting my new academy. It's called the Athena Academy of Astrology. And I am so excited, isn't even the word. It's more than excited. I'm just like beyond thrilled to bring this academy to you so you can learn deeper astrology, real astrology with me, get certified, become a professional astrologer, or just learn it as a tool that you can become fluent in. I hope you will come study with me at my new academy. And wherever you are at in the world, I just wish you an absolutely wonderful, wonderful 2026. Let's do it right.